E mua ono whaatalofa atu I o paia ma mamalu mawalunga. I paia ma mamalu o tangata e ana nei whanua o loo ngalu nue eile nei pokalame o Treasure Islands. Tangata na mua I Malae. Le tangata Parramatta le nei maile I tū malo o tangata Darek. O lātou tua a, ma lātou a inga, o loo no nofo ma tau sia nei whanua mai le amatanga e o le whaavavau. O le nei pokalame na whausia ma nisi o tangata mai le Atanu Pasifika o loo no nofo I Sydney o Sitalia. O le nei ngaluenga. O tala lava o tangata mai lona lava I loa I Measina, ma tala o Measina o loo teawina I le Powerhouse Museum. A whai o yeise upu po se tala wopa o I papa. Wha maangalo le nei au auna vai. Tātou te wha maruru atu o le a mātou wha soa I le ngana wha peritania. Ai usi mailo sila o le a mātou taumawhai atu. Alofa atu le lau leo tanoi.
Talofa, welcome. We're here at Cafe de Wheels at Castle Hill, the Discovery Centre. There's an origin to everything, and this behind me is the origin to the peas and pies. While I'm waiting for my chips, we're going to go to see our Cook Island brothers and sisters. They're in the collection and they're looking at all the material culture, but they've selected a few things for us to look at. So let's go and rediscover some things.
Kia ora, Margaret. Welcome here to the Powerhouse Museum.
Kia ora, Leo. Thank you very much for having us here. Kia ora to the museum and everybody here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
I'm Navina Rupuna.
Yeah, I'm Ben Ruapuna. I'm the husband of the lady that created that TYY at the back there. And this is the daughter.
I'm the daughter.
And these two in the front here are grandchildren of ours.
Okay.
We're so happy to be here. It's emotional for us. And I remember the time when the wife, when Diata was working for Ray Hughes Art Gallery in Surrey Hills, and then later on involved with the Powerhouse Museum. All my children are here. They are so emotional about what's happening today with their mother's artwork in the past. So she's gone. She passed away just over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that's why they're all here to witness this day.
That's amazing. Thank you. And at the back here, we have our brother.
Kia ora, my name is Roto Williams. I just had the privilege of accompanying Margaret when we came a couple of weeks ago and meeting with Leo and the team and listening to the expression of how we can bring the TYY alive, the story, the history. So it is an honor to be here today.
This beautiful artwork that's draped at the back here was made by Tiata, and that's Ben's wife. And when we were looking at the collections, we were amazed at looking at this tiwaiwai, its beauty. Margaret, could you or Ben expand further on the actual tiwaiwai? When do you think it was made and what it was, the occasion for it as well?
It's something that our women in the Cook Island, they picked it up from their parents or from their grandparents. She's been doing this all her life. This actual TYY was created in, it takes more than a year to do just one. It was created in 1992, I think. It's been a long time ago. She's got quite a few of these handed over to We did an exhibition at Ray Hughes Art Gallery.
Is it cut out, the pattern? Is it a stencil? Or is it something that's in her mind and that she knows how to cut? Or is it from years of experience?
Oh, it's always on her mind. If you look at the colour of the leaves, it's supposed to be green.
Yes.
But this particular one, she said to me one day, it's the reflection of the sun that changes the colour.
Okay.
She picked that up. She picked that up and changed it to blue. When she looked the sun shining onto the leaves, it changes the colour.
With the Tiwaiwais, they actually are very special within our customs. So it could be 21st birthdays, weddings, hair cuttings, any special ceremony. Usually the ladies within the families or even close family friends, they gather and they talk about what occasion's coming up and how much that person means to those. They are given as gifts to either the wedding couple or the birthday person. And these gifts, they're treated like special gold, like they're kind of like our gold.
Treasures.
Yes, they're treasures, exactly. And they're given as gifts. And if I was the person that was accepting this gift, it would mean so much because not did that person take the time to think about me, they took the time out of their own special day to hand sew this, to create this piece for us. So we keep this and make it as our bedspread, hang it up in our walls, on our walls, or put it away for another special time.
Would it be good to be doing projects, you know, say with like the Powerhouse Museum and other cultural facilities to continue to help to teach the kids how to do these things, to make te vaiwai?
Very much, Leo. I think there is a great need for the knowledge and the skills to be passed down to the next generation.
Yeah.
However, as we were sharing that this is a very sacred artwork to our culture, it's very special. So sometimes it's very difficult to have our aunties and our grandparents sharing it, because they want to keep it for their own children, to pass the knowledge on to their own children. So sometimes it can be a bit challenging for them to share to those who desire to learn how to do it, but do not have the parents or grandparents to show them how, And because Australia is so big and wide, it's very hard for mums, from the west traveling to the inner west, and etc. and so forth. So if we can have a group, many years ago there was a group out here in the west, but they have moved on.
I know there's a lot of group here in Sydney, especially people in our church, the mamas in our church, they're doing this, and teaching their children as well. Whether they're listening or not, I don't know.
The next lot of DIY are not of the hands of our late Mama Teata. They are from members of community here in Sydney.
So that one is sewing machine?
Yes, we saw that when we had the closer look at
Yes.
it. But,
And this one?
This one, again, just want to remind us that it's a labor of love.
Yes.
Mama may have spent 24 hours to get this done within a year. So this one is made from also a relative.
Yes.
This one is from Mama Suaru. Mama Suaru, she lives in Blacktown.
Yes.
So we're really honored that she's given this to the council to showcase when we go places to do exhibitions, etc.
Okay.
So she made this on her own as well. I can't confirm whether she cut the pattern herself.
Okay.
But she does have a friend who knows how to cut. Every artist is different in their ways.
Okay.
Some love to have 3 other people join in, but this particular mama, she likes to do it on her own. She loves to do her works on her own.
This is one piece on another piece.
Yes.
So when it's cut, the top piece, I think, is folded into 4. Half and then half again. And then this is where the magic of the scissors, the sauma as we call it, the artist hand. This is where the magic of the scissors comes in and just cuts it, digs into pieces. And then when it's opened again and you see the pattern. But the interesting thing is, They don't use computers to create these designs. It's all in here. It's all in the head. And this is why we say they are taonga, meaning, you know, they're artisans in their own right.
Yes.
There's the ones with the scissors, and then there's also the ones with the needle.
Yes.
You know, who can think. And I think this was done with the needle, yes?
Yes, yeah. That's
It looks like it's handmade.
Hand stitched here, with all the thing here.
Each and every individual Tivavai, do they have a specific name
Yes.
or a naming sort of thing, system?
There's names for pattern, for a type
Yes.
of Tiwara. These two, we call them man.
Man.
So you have, as Uncle was sharing,
Overlapping.
the bird has landed.
Oh, right.
So the man. So it's two pieces.
Yes.
Only two pieces that come together.
So the bird has landed
Bird
and it's
has
called the
landed,
manu.
yeah, the man. So
Excellent.
Tiwara man. These
Right.
patterns are called.
Okay,
yes.
that's
But
beautiful.
as we can see, Mama's one is a leaf. This one is a fan out of the artist's eyes. So this pattern,
Yes.
we call it Tivavai Tatora. Tatora is
Tatora.
Taura is cotton, string, you know, that's the word for
okay.
Taura. So as you can see, in comparison to the previous two,
Yes.
this one has a lot of needlework in it, isn't it?
Mm.
This is an heirloom.
Yes.
It's from my grandmother to my mother, and it's very common in
Your
families.
mother's mother or your father's mother?
My mother's mother.
Yep.
So from my mother's mother to her, and then to me. But it's very common in our families.
Yes.
All our Kukana families are very blessed that they do still have the tiwawai from their grandmothers, you know. The name of this of this type of tiwawai is
Yes.
taore.
Te ore.
Taore.
Taore.
Tiwawai taore, or these tiny little boxes, similar to the English, what you call
Quilt.
the quilts. Yes, yes. From the women in the outer islands, they say that in the days they weren't able to afford to buy, you know, big materials.
Yes.
So when they have the material to sew dresses for their children or for
Yes.
themselves, all the little bits and pieces,
cuttings.
they keep it, the squares, and so forth, until they have enough colors to be able. So we remember the days of these little squares, about this long, they're all in baskets, etc., around the house. So that's how some of our elders from the outer islands. But on the main island, our elders there were lucky to have access to rolls of materials. And Christianity was a huge influence
Yes.
in those days. And also some have crowns. Crowns and crosses were very common of this type
Yes.
of tiwawai, because we were still under the British in the early 1900s.
Yes.
So there was still that allegiance to the king in England, so something like that. And also to our own chieftainship in the Cook Islands as well. This type of tiwawai would definitely be shared among the church women group, you
Yes.
know, what grandma's little group. So they would have each would have had a pattern to do, and then they come together and then put it.
And
put
your
it
grandmother's name?
My grandmother's name is Upopoina.
So this was actually made in Rarotonga,
Yes,
as
this is
opposed to
called-
the other two?
As opposed to the other three, were all
Other
made
three,
here
yep.
in Australia.
Wow.
For all our young people, or even our families, even young couples that get married and they get a tiwawai, sometimes they don't know, what am I going to do with this, you know, but you know, mom gave it to me, etc. But if you can understand the labor of love that went into it,
Yes.
the pattern of the artist is unique. You cannot buy this at David Jones or Myers, etc. It's one of a kind.
You can get it at your place.
You can get it
At the association,
We'll
Cook
find
Island
out.
Association. No?
But you know, that's how valuable
Yes.
the tiwawai is in our families, you know.
If you don't know your past, you will never know where you're going in the future. And
E te tangata kāre i ki te kāpuanga. Kāre i ki te tōna tāna peutupuna. Tāna o akonoanga. Mei te tumu, kāre o nāka. A people without the knowledge of their culture, their traditions, their customs, is like a tree without roots. So With those words, I think we know what we have to do.